He then takes a clip from my live debate with SG where I said I haven't made a video making fun of rape. If you're going to criticize comedy, then you're just like every other person who has written Family Guy angry about their rape jokes, or any comedian about their rape jokes. You don't like rape jokes? That's fine. Don't watch people who tell rape jokes. I personally have made video after video after video saying how horrible I think rape is, giving people resources to get help if they are raped, and in general trying to help victims. But that doesn't mean I can't joke about whatever I want, considering comedy is a sensitive issue. With comedians, if you start telling them they can't tell certain jokes, then they start to lose inspiration. And if you lose inspiration, then it's very difficult to write jokes. So in that, so long as it's legal, I allow myself to tell whatever jokes I want. If you go to Google and you type in Family Guy rape jokes, you'll see what I mean when I say they take it way further than I ever have. Does that mean I'm gonna stop supporting the show? Absolutely not. Does it mean I support that joke? Absolutely not. Doesn't really matter though. It's comedy, and so long as it's not illegal, comedy should not be controlled. Rep then points out that I challenged SG on the spot, and he's criticizing me for not giving him time to prepare. Guess what? SG was well aware that all these debates were going down, and I myself didn't even know that I was gonna challenge SG that night. And also realize, Rep, that in these kinds of debates, the person in my position is open to all questions, so there's no way you're going to be 100% prepared, whereas he gets to ask whatever he likes. So you would think that if he asked a question, he would at least know what he's talking about, as he's the one who chose to ask it. So when he asks a question that I had no idea was gonna come my way, and I respond with, "Can you show me evidence?" I would say the person in the wrong is the individual who asked a question and they're not prepared to back up with evidence, as again, they chose to ask it. So if anyone didn't have any time to prepare, it was me. Again, what I said is I haven't made a main channel video making fun of rape. What I was specifically referencing is I never made a video with rape in the title saying rape is funny or haha rape or anything like that. Now if SG asked me, have you ever made rape jokes? I would say yes. That's the real difference. And if you paid attention to the following debate, I also made this clear to the public. So it's not like I was trying to dodge the information. And to point out your dishonesty, Rep, I made all this very clear in the live debate. A live debate that took place prior to you uploading this video. So what you did here is you ignored evidence that was readily open to the public and moved forward to attack me on an issue that had already been resolved. You could have, but you didn't show any footage from the most recent debate, again, the one that happened prior to you making this video, of me clarifying all this information. So how honest are you, Rep? Because the fact that you didn't mention the most recent live debate, which cleared all of this up, says to me that you don't care about the truth. Instead, all you care about is making yourself look like you're right and I'm wrong. You then point out that the video you used as an example was titled Puppy Love, meaning it was not a video about rape. Just as I said, I had never made a video on my main channel about rape. You, of course, decide to ignore this fact and pretend as if what I said was a blatant lie. I was put on the spot on a live debate, and I indicated to the best of my knowledge I had never made a comedy video about rape. I still stand by that, as that is true to the very best of my knowledge. You then move on to point out my character Sharon Barron, and I move to the same live debate that you ignored, where I said I have made rape jokes. I clarify, again, hopefully you'll get this information. I have made rape jokes. However, in the debate you chose to pay attention to, which had you been in one, you would know this. I'm sorry, you actually do know this because you defended SG, saying he wasn't prepared to ask these questions, which again, I had no idea I was going to be presented with. I answered that question to the best of my ability. I thought, are there any videos with rape in the title on my comedy channel? And I concluded to the best of my knowledge that there were none. And so I said what I did. Now I'm going to go back and use your defense of SG in my favor. You say it wasn't fair for SG to be challenged on the spot. Every single question I was asked, I was challenged on the spot, to include this one. So SG being unavailable to provide evidence of his questions that he chose to ask, in your opinion, makes him completely innocent of any failures on his part. So in that, I'm completely innocent of any failures on my part, considering he did not warn me that he was going to ask these questions. So in that, you criticizing me for something that you defended him for either lacks intelligence or is flat out dishonest. So let me ask you this. Is it that while you made this video in a controlled environment, you lack the intellectual capacity to reach the same conclusion that I have? Or is it that you're blatantly being dishonest and have chosen to take in a bias against me because it suits your ego better than admitting that I'm a human being who makes mistakes, who doesn't say everything perfectly every single time he opens his mouth, and who deserves a fair chance at explaining his case without everyone automatically assuming his failure? He then re-emphasizes his original points, where he says I told him to stop talking to me, and he did. That's not how it happened. I asked him repeatedly to stop talking about me, and he continued to make videos about me. You guys don't have to rely on trusting me to verify whether or not this is true. Just look at the timestamps on the videos that I made saying stop talking about me, and then look at the timestamps on the videos that he was making where he continued to talk about me. And also, the screenshots aren't lying. The witnesses aren't lying. You were supporting people in these debates. You were challenging me to debates while the debates were going on, and they've only been going on for the last week or so. So again, Rep, you're blatantly lying. You then say that I've accused you of false things. The only thing you're referring to is me saying that you wrote my in-laws a snail mail letter. To be so vague, of course, weighs in your favor, saying somebody said something about me that was false and I proved it wrong. What I said about you was information passed on to me from my in-laws. They assumed that it was you because you made a video directly addressing them, trying to ruin my relationship with, again, people in my personal life who I've never introduced to the public, which means you invaded my personal life. You are implying I slandered you because my in-laws said it was you. My in-laws, again, assumed it was you because you had contacted them on Facebook, because you had made those videos about them, and later on, I myself said I was wrong there. I also clarified that even though I was wrong there, the only difference between contacting someone's in-laws on Facebook and making a video about them, trying to split up their relationship with their in-law, and writing them a snail mail letter is the level of creepiness. That is all. But of course, you're going to use your words to try and weigh in your favor because you can, rather than facing me in live debate where you are not pandering to your subscribers, but rather you're facing everyone. Taking me on, the person you've repeatedly made negative videos about, the person whose family you went after. I can't emphasize enough how shameful that is. You never go after someone's family. You can say what you want to your audience and they will eat it up. But unless you're insane, you cannot hide from your guilty conscience, Rep. Now, we both know that you consciously lied when you said you haven't challenged me to a debate. We both know that you consciously lied when you deleted those comments challenging me to a debate. It's time for you to own up to that, to be honest. You don't have to sit and look at me live as you have repeatedly indicated that you have no interest in doing, despite the fact that I feel I have every right to respond to the accusations you've made about me, to respond to you going after my family, to respond to the 12 plus negative videos you've made about me. But let's be honest, I wasn't the only person who was demanding a debate from you. So many commenters again and again and again demanded your presence because they had faith in you. These individuals specifically said over and over again that you would humiliate me in live debate. They said you would ruin me. These people had your back, and you ignored all those people for who knows what real reason. The bottom line is multiple women, SG, a 15-year-old boy, every single person I've debated has gained some level of respect from me because they had the courage to face me. They wouldn't have hid from a discussion opportunity with a mediator like you did. Originally, you indicated you might have interest and then you backed out. And I gotta say that when I first saw you deny my challenge to a debate, or more so my acceptance to all your challenges to a debate, I was trying to find a reason why someone who has challenged me to a debate so many times with so many witnesses, seeing that they challenged me, why they would be so foolish as to lie as if they can run from proof on the internet. The only word that I could find to describe you was coward. Anyway, let's continue. Again, you're pointing out that I said I didn't want to associate with you, now all of a sudden I did. Again, what you're pointing out is someone changing their mind over time. It's not hypocrisy. People are allowed to change their stance on things with new information. But the most odd thing about what you're saying again and again about me is that you again are guilty of the very same thing. You said publicly that you weren't going to talk about me anymore. And here you are doing exactly the same thing you say I'm guilty of. You're saying just last week I said I didn't want to talk to you. Just yesterday, you yourself presented in this video you saying you didn't want to talk about me. Just yesterday. If you're talking about time differences of contradictions, you just took the cake. You're now moving on to mock Rep Sock, which is appropriate because Rep Sock is a joke. However, not as much of a joke as you have indicated yourself to be, considering you said good luck to Caleb, a 15-year-old boy, a viewer and in many ways a supporter of yours, but you yourself lack the bravery. So to counter your points, I put a sock on my hand because I'm a comedian and that's what comedians do. We do silly things like that. And I debated a sock who actually had the courage to back up your statements for you. You're now emphasizing that I'm a 27-year-old male who's married to an 18-year-old. Again, why do you have to bring my family into this? If you're going to make a hate video about someone, why can't you just talk about them rather than their family? You then refer to my wife as a newlywed, even though we've been married since November, and you emphasize that she's 13 weeks pregnant. Are you implying something, Rep? Again, bringing people's family into this, it's shameful. You just don't do that. Every honest person who's watching this who has had haters before bring their families into their disagreements is probably feeling pretty upset with you right now. It's just something you don't do, dude. You then say that my wife is about to have a child even though you just stated that she's 13 weeks pregnant. If you think she's just about to have a child, you don't know a lot about pregnancy. This is the beauty in making videos instead of facing someone in live debate. You have the opportunity to more closely revise your words. I guess you missed that in the editing room.
We're dinosaurs.
If you didn't laugh at that, I think there might be something a little weird with you. And then the Jurassic Park theme, come on. Literally, I got multiple people writing me saying that they were laughing hysterically at that show. People voted for that show to happen. I made it happen because I care about what a lot of people want. Again, you're criticizing me for following through with something after you threatened me. You threatened me vaguely with something very bad. Let's just say I'm hypothetically a person of principle. You threaten someone saying something very bad will happen to them if they proceed with whatever actions they're proceeding with. What do you think a person of principle is going to do? A person of principle is most definitely going to proceed with whatever actions they're doing. And the reason they're going to proceed is because they do not respond to threats of bad things happening to them with cowardice. So me proceeding with that sock debate, it became more about showing you that you do not control me with your threats of bad things happening to me. Thank goodness that you later on revealed what your threat was actually about, but in the future I encourage you to be specific if you're going to cowardly threaten people online. Because I had people writing me saying I should sue you, I had people telling me that I should call the cops, and what did I do in response to your threat? I didn't call the cops. I didn't talk to a lawyer. Instead, I said bring it on, because that's what a lot of people with principle would do. As far as comedy goes, you keep pointing out my age. I'm pushing 30, you phrased it. Just because you don't understand a form of comedy does not make it invalid. If you don't find a form of comedy funny, there's no point in criticizing it, because you as a mature adult realize that not everybody finds the same things funny. Now, as far as age goes, comedians have no age restrictions, so to criticize someone based on the maturity of their comedy style, well, that in itself would be a joke. You then say that I've fallen to a whole new level by using a sock to argue your points because you weren't willing to argue your points in a live show. Let me ask you this. What is a lower low? Being attacked by someone again and again and again online, having them challenge you to debates again and again and again, only to have them run when you accept their challenge, and in that using a sock puppet saying the sock has more balls than that person does, having their audience vote for this sock puppet debate to happen, in the hundreds, mind you, making those hundreds laugh and have a good time, getting tons of emails saying how funny it was. Is that the lowest of lows? Or is it an even greater low to have a disagreement with someone online and then proceed to look up their legal documents, releasing them to hate sites, releasing innocent people's full names to these hate sites, bring up multiple personal things about this individual which involve many innocent people in a negative context, and on top of that, go after that very person's family who you have a disagreement with, trying to ruin their personal life by trashing them to their in-laws. Tell me, who stoops lower? Someone with a sock on their hand, or someone trying to destroy someone's life because they have a disagreement with them? I just don't get your stance. I don't see how you can go after someone's family. I don't see how you can post innocent people's full names, people who want nothing to do with you. And just like I emphasized in that live show, my in-laws think you're a creep. My wife thinks you're a creep. In fact, I hear these individuals talking about what a creep you are and how much you gross them out. And the reason they're grossed out by you is because they know me, and you don't know me at all, do you?